Okay, everyone, lesson 46. God is the love in which I forgive. God is the love in which I forgive. So yet another way that the Course kind of overturns our traditional definition of certain words. So the word forgive or forgiveness. In its traditional sense, you are first condemned before you can be forgiven. Makes sense? There is a sense of something was done wrong, and I choose to not overlook it, but choose to say that I'm going to either let it go, I will see you in your greatest light beyond what you did, and therefore forgive you. But I first had judged you. I have first condemned you for what you did. You did something wrong, or I did something wrong. Makes perfect sense. That is what the traditional definition of forgiveness is. But from the Course's perspective, condemnation and forgiveness is only needed within the context of the illusory world in which we create. So the world that we make is the only place in which forgiveness would make sense, because we choose to see that this world is true and then have to make a decision whether or not to continue to see the world as true and therefore exacerbate the condemnation of the world, or see the world as untrue, unreal, and therefore forgive it. So the definition of forgiveness from the Course's perspective is to decide to see the world as untrue. Regardless, though, in this lesson, you would then search the mind for those in which you have a difficult time forgiving. You have an easy time condemning, and it's typically people that you don't like. So if you can identify someone that you don't like, and you say, God is the love in which I forgive you, John. God is the love in which I forgive you, Jane. And then, of course, you can end it with, God is the love in which I forgive myself. What you're forgiving is those aspects of yourself that you don't like. But those aspects are your shadow, but they're only real within the context of this world in which we live, this incarnation. Within the context of our eternal souls, our eternal lives, they're not real, because you are as God created you, and God does not make mistakes. You are perfect. Your nature is made of the same essence of God as God. But in this world, in the illusory world that we've created and the decisions that we've made on what's true and what's not true, forgiveness is necessary. Forgiveness of others and forgiveness of yourself. You're making the decision to see things and deny that they are true, even though they may appear to be true. Appearance is what runs this world. As we know from prior lessons, what you see is just an appearance. It is not actually what is there. It's the image that you are creating. That's all it is. See through it. See the light in everyone that you have decided you don't like. See God in them. And that is true forgiveness. See your nature as pure and holy, even though there are parts of you that you don't like. That is true forgiveness. That's lesson 46. God is the love in which I forgive. One last thing I'll say about that. There is a distinction between God and the love in which you forgive. God may be the love, but God does not need to forgive because you are already created perfect. This world needs to have an appearance of forgiveness. Just like this world needs to have an appearance of miracles. Miracles are not needed within the mind of God. Where they're needed is in the perception of the world in which we live. Miracles are a perception shift from fear to love. Perception shift from fear to love, and therefore so is forgiveness. It is a perception shift from condemnation to forgiveness. That's all it is. You choose to see the good and deny that the evil can in any way hurt you. God is the love in which I forgive. I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 47.